What's going on, people? Shaman the YB back once again. So, we have some leaked Spence versus Crawford contract rematch clause details here that are quite interesting. Here we go. Spence has informed BoxingScene.com before he made an appearance at Open Workouts Wednesday at the MGM Grand that his next fight will be contested at the junior middleweight limit of £154. The 33-year-old Spence will oppose fellow Terence Crawford in their highly anticipated £147 title. They have rematch clauses in their contracts, but Spence doesn't think he can put his body through the grueling process of making the welterweight limit again. I would want it at 154, Spence said. I've outgrown 147. It goes on. It's been kind of hard, Spence said, but I've got a nutritionist and a dietitian to make sure I'm eating the right foods and make sure I'm good. But it's definitely hard. It's definitely a struggle. It's always hard, but yeah, this is the last time, definitely. I'm a lot older. I'm not as young as I used to be, so you can't be putting your body through that much to fight. Now, where is it? Essentially, if we go here, you'll see the rematch clause details are, here we go, look. Spence has declared he intends to move up to super welterweight for his next fight after Terence Crawford. Rematch clause allows for whoever loses to force a second fight, but it's reported that the winner is the one who gets to choose the weight. So there's the meat on the bones. Errol Spence is saying, basically, if I win, then Terence Crawford has the right to force the rematch. However, Terence Crawford doesn't have the right to dictate the same terms. So if Spence wins, he'll fight Terence Crawford again at 154. If Crawford wins, the problem is, if Crawford wins, Spence will have to drag himself down. Because why would Crawford do it at 154? Unless Crawford's just a badass, yeah? But I'm pretty sure there'd be no belts on the line, would there? Because Terence Crawford would be undisputed at 147. But maybe Crawford just says, listen, and that would be crazy for me. You know what? I'm going to call it now. If Terence Crawford beats Spence and then is prepared to go up to 154 and beat him again, I'm going to call Terence Crawford the GOAT. I'm going to do it. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it what it is. That would be amazing. Or tell a lie. Let me see this first. Terence Crawford beats Spence at 147, beats him at 154, and then beats Jamal Charlo for undisputed at 154. Back to back to back to back. I'm calling Terence Crawford the greatest of all time. The true GOAT. That's what I'll do at that point. Yeah? And God forbid he stops any of them two in between that as well, if that makes sense. I mean, if he stops Spence twice and then stops Jamal Charlo, he's hands down number one. In my opinion. If that happens, there's no man who could have ever beat Terence Crawford in any way, at any time, pound for pound. Not in the whole history of the game, in my opinion. But certainly, that's what makes this fight so interesting. But if I was Errol Spence, I'm not sure if I'd be talking so, this isn't a good look. And I've seen the odds. The odds have been shifting towards Crawford. And I believe it's things like this. Why is Errol Spence crying about the weight for? Now, we knew it was tough to make the weight. But why come out and say this now? Is he setting the scene? Now, to be fair to Spence, Spencer said, after I win, we'll be going to 154. He hasn't said if I lose, so he's not setting the scene for losing. And if he does lose, Terence Crawford will be well within his right to demand a 147 rematch again. Which can only get worse for Spence, I'd have thought, because if Spence is struggling now so much that he loses and gets stopped by Crawford in the first fight, for example, or gets beat up, another 6 months of age. That ain't, mad. But either way, there's narratives everywhere about this fight. Yeah, it's fact. Errol Spence is noticeably bigger than Crawford. But like I've been saying, Josh Taylor was noticeably bigger than Teofimo. And there's quite a few examples where people who have been at a weight class for too long, Errol Spence, don't forget, is a career welterweight. Josh Taylor was a career 140 pounder. It's not natural. These guys have been at that weight for 10 years. Not natural. Look, Terence Crawford started at 130. Maybe even lower, but certainly 130 He's at 147 now. He's gone up £17. He's gone up, how much percent is that? 12%. That's the equivalent. 12% plus 147 is what? I don't know. Let's call it 57, £18. That's like Errol Spence would be at 165. So, yeah, 168, more or less. That's where Errol Spence should be if he's following Terence Crawford's path. Never mind 168. He's at 140. He's still at 140. He's not even close to 154 yet. And these guys are 32, 33 years old. Look at Canelo. Canelo's fading even though he's gone up, what? 154, £14. Canelo's gone up 2 weight divisions and still age is catching up with him. Yeah? Now, not everyone ages the same, but still. It's a shame, really. I want to put some money on Crawford. But the odds are just looking whack now. Yeah. So, I'm surprised, to be fair. I thought the Texas guys were going to show up more. I thought the New York money and the Texas money was going to show up. The way they was woofing. I thought Spence was going to be the favourite for what it's worth. I did. I thought Errol Spence was going to be the favourite. Because Terence Crawford's never had much clout like that. But maybe in the next 2 days it will change, which I've seen before. Often the hometown fighter gets pumped up in the last 24 hours before the fight. But still, at this point in time, I think the money line's right. But how many times has the money line been wrong? Yeah, and I will say this. If Errol Spence wins this, then yeah. You can't... If Errol Spence wins this, then looking at analytics don't mean nothing. Which I already know to be the case, because look at Teofimo Lopez. Look at Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. I was laughing. This guy has no shot. He's finished. And he punched Josh Taylor's head off. So you can do all the maths you want. No one saw that coming. No one did. He punched the head off of Josh Taylor. And that's what makes it so exciting. And I'll say it again, but either man who wins this, yeah, fair play to them. I'm not going to take none away from them. They're real dudes. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and leg off the bar 100%. No doubt about it. I've got 30 seconds left. I might as well waffle on some more. What was I going to say? Nothing, because I'm waffling, but rematch clause for the second fight. Yeah. If Terence Crawford stops Spence, does Spence go for the 147 rematch? That's really the question we got here. Bottom line. Who here thinks Errol Spence gets stopped by Crawford and he goes back down and he stays there? You know what I mean? I don't think that's likely. No, tell a lie. No, I respect Errol Spence as a man. As a man, Errol Spence will run it again on principle. But it's only going to get worse for him, I'd have thought. But maybe that's what makes great fighters great. Maybe he's going to come back and show us some. Maybe he's going to win anyway. You know, maybe this beats Crawford up anyway. So let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and leg off the bar 100%, no doubt.